Hello, I'm Rebecca Reinking and I'm here to do a big walkthrough of the L Sound Handbook for SLPs. So this is a digital file, and what I've done here is I've printed off all the chapters because I really want you to get a good depth and a good understanding of the scope and the complexity of this resource and how it's really going to help you have more tools in your toolbox to elicit this L sound. So the way we've organised this handbook is that we've got 7 chapters. The first 2 chapters are just going to orient you. They're going to give you a good basis, a good framework for how to cue, how many cues are you supposed to use. We've also got pages in here like the do's and don'ts of cueing. And so these are little helpful things so that when you get to the actual cueing and helping your child say their L sound more effectively and more clearly, you have some good rationales and you have some good reasons why. We've also got some really helpful problem solving pages like what do I do, when I'm stuck, because the one thing I know and I can promise you is that you're always going to get stuck once in your career with eliciting sounds. So we really hope that to give you a good problem solving framework to help you out. And then what you're going to find throughout all of these handbooks is that we have some really great checklists, and this is just going to help you so that when you have this child on your caseload, you can go through and check off what is helpful and I guess what isn't helpful, because not every cue in here is going to work for your child. Our second chapter is all about the production of the L sound, and I truly believe that if you have a good understanding of what articulators are required to make this movement, what our jaw, what our teeth, what our lips, what our tongue needs to do, what our voice needs to do, that it's going to help you individualize and tailor the cues in here to your student. So you're going to find that a really, really helpful page there. And I guess what this leans into is our screener. We have a screener for you for L, and basically why this is going to be helpful is because you never know what the child can do in different contexts. So we've really broken down our screener for initial, medial, final and clusters, so that you can have a look here and see if the child is doing something different, something specific, something that you're not sure of, and you've got a really good framework. So it might be that the child said it as W, or it might be that their tongue is protruding, or that it sounds more like a vowel or a glide. So it really is just going to help you figure out what is this child doing, which then leads into our problem solving of how are we going to address this. So with our phonetic cues, we have 4 different types of phonetic cues, and you're going to notice that these are all different colors. It's because all of these helpful, cueing chapters, they're color coded. So you know that the dark green section is your phonetic cues, or the light pink section are gestural cues. But in terms of phonetic cues, we've broken this into 4 different types of phonetic cues. So we have our visual, verbal, tactile, and motor kinesthetic. And if you're confused already, or you're like, I don't know what those are, I want you to know that every single chapter here has helpful information pages, and it explains it all for you, so you get a good understanding of what they all are. And then as you go through and you start trialing these, you're going to find that these checklists on the side here are incredibly helpful, because as you know, you don't know what's going to be the most helpful cue for your child. So it really helps to orient you. With our metaphors chapter, we go in and we provide you with 12 different metaphors, and we individualize these a lot. So we might give you a little tip about these metaphors. So we have our colored pictures here, but we also have explanation pages so that you know how you would teach or how you would introduce this or what you would say. That's a really big one for SLPs. What do I say? You're going to find throughout all of these chapters that we give you lots of good tips on what to say, and even like simple little scripts just to help you with that. with our gestural cues, I guess the biggest highlight of these is all of the photos that we've included. So again, you're going to find lots of different type of gestures that you can use, and you'd probably trial different ones depending on what the child is doing. But these photos and the descriptions on how you'd use the gestures are just going to help you feel more confident using your hands or using gestures to help to facilitate our target sound, which is L. Our last two chapters, we have our shaping cues and keyword environments. Now with our shaping cues, again, if you are thinking, no one taught me about a shaping cue, we have, well, how do you use shaping cues, and then tips for using it as well. These are, a lot of these are based on, clinical experience and what has worked with children. So it's just one of those things that's just going to help you, especially if you're already thinking, I don't know what these cues were to start off with. We help you. And then with our shaping cues, we go through the different sounds that you'd start with and that you then turn into our L sound. And again, we have a little script here. So it's, can you say ah? That sounds great. I like how you kept your mouth open. Let's say it again, and it kind of goes on. So we really help scaffold you and give you the confidence that you're going to know what to teach and how to explain it to your students. Our last chapter is probably our most comprehensive because keyword environments, these are carefully chosen words that can help to facilitate an L sound. And there's not one type of word or one environment that you're going to find is successful for your students. And a lot of this has come from looking at the vowels, looking at the tongue and the tongue position, rounded vowels versus unrounded. We give you lots of good information in here just so that you're kind of understanding why have we chosen these words to help facilitate. And then the best part is that not only do we explain it individually up here, for example, high front and mid vowels, but we've given you word lists. So this is fantastic for you to be able to go through. You'll be able to pull up these word lists and see if any of these words facilitate a clearer production of L. And then if you realize, that, wow, these, non-words or these vowel consonant syllables are the most facilitative or are the most easiest for your child, then you have a starting place for therapy. So I hope you've got a really good understanding of the depth of this resource. We have them available in quite a few sounds and we're going to continue to expand. But this is just a general overview of what you can expect and how this L Sound Handbook can just make you feel more confident, give you more tools in your toolbox, and just help you to hopefully elicit a clearer L production.